too transparent and dangerously hungry for approval. You enter a room and your posture begs for a permission that no one is going to give you. You offer smiles to people who haven't earned them, and you fill the quiet gaps with nervous words because the weight of silence makes you feel exposed. The world is watching, and the world is cold. Understand this: human nature is fundamentally predatory. Most people don't need to be malicious to exploit you, they only need to be human. When they sense that your self-worth is tied to their opinion, they instinctively withdraw their respect. They place you in a category, the category of the safe man, the reliable worker, the harmless peer, and in the hierarchy of power, the harmless are never consulted, they are simply managed. But there is a different frequency of existence, a presence that doesn't demand attention, yet gravity seems to pull everyone toward it. A level of confidence so dense and so absolute that it creates a psychological chill in the room. It is not the loud confidence of the braggart, it is the quiet confidence of the king who knows he is the only one in the room with a plan. Niccolò Machiavelli understood this dark geometry. He knew that the love of the people is a shifting sand, but respect built on the foundation of awe is a fortress that never falls. Today, we are not here for self-help. We are here for a total reconstruction of the soul. We are removing the submissive coding of the servant and installing the operating system of the sovereign. You are about to learn the mechanics of being psychologically formidable. But be warned, once you adopt this lens, the world will never look the same again. The shallow warmth of being liked will be stripped away, replaced by the heavy, silent distance of true authority. If you are content being a background character in your own life, close this video now. But if you are ready to be the hand that moves the pieces, rather than the piece being moved, listen closely. The transformation begins now. The first law of sovereign presence is the total destruction of the nice guy archetype. You have been programmed with a convenient lie since the day you were born. The world told you that if you are nice, the world will be nice back. They told you that if you follow the rules, you will be rewarded, and if you are polite, you will be safe. Look at the reality of your life. Is it working? Or are the people who break the rules winning while you wait in line? Niccolò Machiavelli wrote, "A man who wishes to make a profession of goodness in everything must necessarily come to grief among so many who are not good." Translation: if you play by the rules of nice in a game where everyone else is playing for power, you will be destroyed. Niceness is not a virtue, it is a survival strategy for the weak, a plea for mercy from those you fear. It says, "I am not a threat, please do not hurt me." Terrifying confidence begins the moment you replace nice with civil. There is a massive structural difference between the two. Civility is a choice. It is a code of conduct you impose on yourself because you are disciplined and dangerous. Niceness is a reflex. It is a fear-based response to avoid the friction of conflict. The sovereign is civil. He speaks calmly, he uses manners, he holds the door. But behind his eyes there is a wall. He is not acting this way to make you like him. He is doing it because he holds himself to a standard. If you cross him, the civility does not turn into rage, it turns into ice. When you stop trying to be liked, you become unpredictable. And unpredictability is the root of all psychological power. Think of a man who yells, "He is annoying, but he is a child venting his emotions." Now think of the man who never raises his voice, who stares in total silence when a mistake is made. That man is terrifying because you cannot find the bottom of his thoughts. To become this, you must stop smiling by default. Observe yourself for 1 week. How many times do you smile when you aren't happy? How many times do you laugh at a joke that wasn't funny just to ease the tension? This is submissive signaling. It tells the predators in the room that you are harmless. Stop it. Keep your face neutral. Let your eyes rest on people without rushing to reassure them. When you stop signaling submission, people will get uncomfortable. They will ask, "Are you okay? Are you mad?" That discomfort they feel is the power shifting into your hands. It is the realization that they can no longer read you. You have become a closed book in a room full of open magazines. Most people are addicted to noise because noise is the only thing that distracts them from their own insignificance. They are terrified of the pause. Watch two insecure people talk. They overlap. They interrupt. They rush to fill every millisecond of dead air because silence feels like a judgment they cannot endure. They are throwing words into the void to build a bridge, desperate for a connection that they haven't earned. The Machiavellian mind does the opposite. He creates the void. Silence is not empty. Silence is a vacuum. And nature abhors, pronunciation, abhors a vacuum. When you stay silent, you create a psychological gravity that pulls the truth out of others, while other people, driven by their own internal anxiety, rush to fill that silence. They will reveal things they never meant to say. They will negotiate against themselves. They will offer you power just to make the awkwardness stop. Niccolò Machiavelli understood that the tongue is the enemy of the wise, and that a prince should listen much and speak little. Here is how you weaponize this vacuum. When someone asks you a question, do not answer immediately. Wait 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. Maintain steady, unblinking eye contact, then deliver your answer. In those 3 seconds, their brain goes into a panicked overdrive. They wonder, did I offend him? Is my question stupid? What is he looking at? You have destabilized their certainty before you have uttered a single syllable. When you do speak, you must speak slower. Fast talking is the universal signal of anxiety. It tells the world that you're afraid you will be interrupted, or that you don't think your time is valuable enough to claim. Slow talking signals that you expect to be heard. It signals that you have nowhere else you'd rather be, and no one you fear. Imagine a king issuing a decree. He does not stumble, he does not rush, he speaks as if the world waits for his punctuation. If you are interrupted, do not raise your voice, do not get angry. Simply stop. Stop talking completely. Keep your eyes fixed on the person who interrupted you, and let the silence hang. Let the entire room feel the weight of their rudeness. Usually they will stumble, they will apologize, or they will trail off in embarrassment. Only then do you continue, at the exact same volume, from the exact same spot. You did not fight for the floor, you simply showed them that you already own it. Words are like currency. The more you print, the less they are worth. The sovereign is a man of few words, but each word carries the weight of a mountain. When you speak, make it count. When you remain silent, make it felt. You are not here to entertain the masses with your voice. You are here to command the space with your presence. The vacuum you create will become the stage upon which others perform their weaknesses. Master the pause, and you master the person. The third law of psychological dominance is the total starvation of the golden calf. The golden calf is external validation, the idol you worship every time you check your phone for likes, every time you fish for a compliment or explain your actions to someone who doesn't matter. You are bowing to this idol. Understand this. You cannot possess terrifying confidence if you are addicted to the approval of others. If I can control your self-esteem by giving you a compliment, I own you. If I can destroy your day by giving you a single insult, I own you completely. You are nothing but a puppet, and your emotions are the strings held by the hands of strangers. To be formidable, you must cut the strings and reach a point of emotional zero. This does not mean you become a mindless robot. It means your self-perception becomes an internal fortress, a fortress that is closed to the public and immune to the noise of the street. Niccolò Machiavelli wrote that it is a common fault of men not to reckon on storms in fair weather. Most men are only confident when they are being praised. The sovereign is confident when he is being attacked. If someone calls you a genius, you think, I know what I am. If someone calls you a fool, you think, I know what I am. Neither statement moves the needle because the needle is not for sale. When you meet a man who doesn't need you to like him, it is deeply disturbing to the social order. We are used to the social barter system. I validate you, you validate me. When you opt out of that transaction, you become a glitch in the matrix of human behavior. People will try harder to impress you. They will try to provoke you just to get a reaction. And this is the ultimate test of your sovereignty. Niccolò Machiavelli knew that he who seeks to provoke will always find someone weak enough to react. When you are challenged or insulted, your survival instinct is to defend, to explain, or to fight back. Do not. Defense implies that the attack actually hurt you. Explanation implies that the accuser has the authority to judge you. Instead, use the bored stare or the agree and amplify technique. If someone calls you arrogant, the insecure man argues, no, I'm just confident. The dangerous man simply says, okay, and goes back to his work. By refusing to defend yourself, you render their weapon useless. You show them that their opinion has zero currency in your world. There is nothing more terrifying to a bully or a narcissist than a target who is simply bored by them. You are not ignoring them out of anger. Anger is still a reaction. You are ignoring them out of indifference. Indifference is the ultimate form of power. When you starve the need for validation, you become an immovable object. The golden calf only has power because you believe in it. Stop believing, and the idol crumbles into the dust where it belongs. Build your fortress, lock the gates, and let the world's opinions shatter against your walls. Our mind leads your body, but your body also hacks your mind. You cannot feel like a ruler if you are curled up like a shrimp. You cannot feel dangerous if you are physically shrinking to take up less space in the world. Look at how you are sitting or standing right now. Are your legs crossed tight? Are your shoulders hunched forward to protect your heart? Is your head tilted down in a submissive bow? Expand. The Machiavellian stance is open. It is exposed, and it is unapologetic. In a physical fight, you protect your vital organs. But in social dynamics, exposing your chest and stomach signals a total lack of fear. It signals to the lizard brain. Of every person in the room, I am not afraid of you. I do not need to shield myself. Take up space as if you own the air around you. Put your arm on the empty chair next to you. Spread your legs. Stand with your weight grounded on both feet. Niccolò Machiavelli understood the power of the visual, noting that men in general judge more by appearances than by reality, and nothing speaks louder than the eyes. The eyes are the primary weapon of the sovereign. Most people have scanning eyes. They dart around the room, checking exits, checking faces, looking for threats or friends. This is prey behavior. A deer scans, a rabbit scans. But a lion focuses. Train your eyes to move slowly, with the weight of Mercury. When you look at something, look at it until you have absorbed the data. When you move your gaze, move it smoothly to the next target without flickering. When you walk, do not deviate from your path. Have you ever walked down a hallway and done the little dance with someone coming the other way? You go left, they go left. You apologize. You shrink. The dangerous man picks a line and he walks it with absolute momentum. He doesn't look at the other person's face. He looks past them, at the destination he has chosen. Physics and psychology agree. The object with the most momentum wins the space. When you walk with absolute purpose, people will instinctively move out of your way. They will feel the wave of your intention, and they will part like the Red Sea. It is not arrogance. It is a vector. You have a destination. They do not. Therefore, you win. By occupying physical space, you occupy the mental space of others. You are no longer a guest in the room. You are the landmark around which the room must move. The apex does not ask for a seat. The apex is the seat of power. We live in an economy where attention is the only real currency. The greatest mistake you make is giving your currency away for free to anyone who asks. You are too accessible. You answer every text instantly. You say yes to every mediocre invite. You stay late at gatherings, even when you are bored, just to avoid the friction of leaving. Understand the law of supply and demand. If you are always there, your value is zero. Niccolò Machiavelli advised the prince to be seen, but to keep his distance, for familiarity breeds contempt. If you want to command the room, you must become scarce. In every negotiation, in every relationship, and in every interaction, the person most willing to walk away holds 100% of the power. If you are afraid to lose the interest of a girl, she owns you. If you are afraid to lose your job, your boss owns you. If you are afraid to lose a friend's approval, that friend owns your soul. To be formidable, you must practice the high art of the exit. Leave the party while it is still fun. Leave the conversation while it is still interesting. Hang up the phone first. By doing this, you create an incomplete loop in the minds of others. When you leave before they are finished with you, you create a psychological hunger. They wonder, where is he going? What is he doing? Is he meeting someone more important than me? You become a mystery, and mystery is the breeding ground of both attraction and fear. Do not explain your absence like a guilty child. The weak man gives a detailed itinerary. I have to go feed the cat and do my laundry. That is mundane, human, and predictable. The dangerous man simply says, I have things to attend to, and vanishes into his purpose. This applies to your emotional availability as well. Do not dump your trauma on people you have just met. Do not reveal your every weakness and insecurity to prove you are authentic. Keep your cards against your chest. In a world of digital oversharing, the man who keeps his secrets is the man who holds the power. Machiavelli noted that everyone sees what you appear to be, but few feel what you are. Maintain that gap between your public image and your private self. When you withdraw your supply of attention, people will try harder to earn it back. They will begin to perform for you. They will value your presence precisely because they know it can be taken away at any moment. You are not a commodity to be consumed. You are a rare artifact to be sought. Learn to walk away, and you will find that the world begins to follow. Everything we have discussed so far, the silence, the posture, the withdrawal, these are the tactics. But tactics without a foundation are merely a mask, and masks eventually crack. To be truly confident, to be truly terrifying, you must be dangerous in reality. I do not mean physically violent, though being physically fit is a non-negotiable requirement for the sovereign. I mean you must be competent, you must be elite at what you do. Niccolò Machiavelli did not just tell the prince to act like a king, he told him to study the art of war, to study history, and to understand the terrain better than anyone else. If you are incompetent, your silence isn't mysterious, it's just confusing. If you have no skills, your intense staring isn't formidable, it's just creepy. You need to build a stack of undeniable proof. Your brain is not stupid. It knows if you are a pretender, you can stand in front of a mirror and recite affirmations all day. But if you haven't achieved anything of substance, your brain will whisper, you are a liar. True confidence comes from the cold, hard evidence of your own capability. It comes from the hours spent in the dark when no one was watching. It comes from keeping the difficult promises you made to yourself. And it would have been easier to quit. When you know that you can solve the problem, you do not need to panic. A surgeon does not panic when the patient begins to bleed, he simply goes to work. He is calm because he is competent. He is terrifying because he is in total control of the outcome. If you want to inspire awe in others, become the best in the room at something. It could be your craft, your ability to analyze a situation, or your absolute mastery over your own emotions. When you speak, you must be right, or at the very least, you must be thoughtful. Machiavelli warned that a prince who relies on the advice of others is easily overthrown. You must have your own mind. You must read. You must think. And you must ruthlessly challenge your own biases. When you combine high competence with high silence, you become a monolith. People will begin to look to you in a crisis because you are the only one not vibrating with anxiety. And that is the ultimate form of dominance. Not the man who shouts the loudest to be heard, but the man everyone looks at when the building is on fire. Competence is the fuel that makes the fire of your presence burn. Without it, you are just smoke. And smoke is easily blown away by the wind. Earn your seat at the table through the blood of your own effort, and you will never have to ask for permission to speak again. Here is the final hurdle, the one that trips everyone up. You are afraid of being the bad guy. You are afraid that if you set a boundary, people will call you selfish. You are afraid that if you say no, people will call you rude or arrogant. Let them, to be the ruler of your own life, you must accept that in someone else's story, you will inevitably be the villain. It is mathematically impossible to prioritize your own purpose without disappointing those who want to use you for theirs. If you work on your business, you disappoint your drinking buddies. If you save your money, you disappoint the people who want to spend it. If you choose your self-respect, you disappoint the people who used to walk all over you. Niccolò Machiavelli wrote, "It is necessary for a prince wishing to hold his own to know how to do wrong, and to make use of it or not according to necessity." He wasn't telling you to be evil, he was telling you to be willing to be disliked for the right reasons. The terrifying man accepts this role with a smile. He doesn't try to convince the parasite that he is a good host, he simply removes the parasite. When you stop fearing the label of selfish, you become truly free. If someone asks, "Can you help me move this weekend?" and you say no, and they respond, "Wow, you're selfish," the sovereign simply says, "If that's how you see it," and ends the discussion. You do not owe the world your time. You do not owe the world your energy. You owe your potential the right conditions to grow. And those conditions often require a code. No, if protecting your peace makes you a villain in the eyes of the chaotic, then wear the black hat with pride. The moment you accept that you don't need to be the hero in everyone else's movie is the moment you become the director of your own. So, how do you walk out of your door tomorrow morning as a different animal? You don't do it all at once. You do it by shifting the geometry of your interactions. Tomorrow, walk slower. Tomorrow, wait 3 seconds before answering any question. Tomorrow, do not smile unless you genuinely feel joy. Tomorrow, do not apologize for taking up space. You will feel resistance. Your inner nice guy, that servant who has been running your life for years, will scream. He will say, "They hate us. We are being weird. Fix it." Let him scream. Watch him die. It will feel cold at first, and the air around you will change. People will stop patting you on the back and start looking you in the eye. The banter will stop, and the respect will start. You will realize that the terror you inspire isn't fear of physical harm. It is the awe of seeing a human being who is unapologetically sovereign. Most people are fragmented, pieces of their parents, their trauma, and their society. When they see a whole man, a unified mind, it shakes them to their core. It reminds them of everything they are not. That is the power of the outlier. You are not here to blend in. You are here to become a landmark, a rigid, immovable object in a river of drifting debris. Machiavelli didn't write for the masses. He wrote for the few who had the stomach to rule. Do you? Confidence is not a feeling. It is a weapon. Pick it up. Use it to kill the servant. Use it to protect the kingdom. Become the thing they fear, so you can finally be the man you respect. If this opened your eyes, understand this is only what I can show publicly. The algorithm suppresses the most powerful information. If you are still here, you are not like the others. Subscribe if you haven't. But if you want what's hidden, click the join button and step into the architect level. Most won't. That's the point. 3, 2, 1, execute.